Okay, I think we are live right now. It does say live. Yeah, we are live. And just want to welcome everyone to another episode of Everything Yowie. And I just got to click on the right button here. Here we are. So, first of all, I'd like to welcome our my partner in crime. He's the man that started the craze that people call Magic Eye. He was the first hiking thong enthusiast in Australia, and he takes yowies with Generation 1 phone cameras. Anyway, Dave, you're my partner in crime, so welcome to Everything Yowie 4. We've lasted 4 shows.
Oh, thank you very much, Dan. Yeah, that surprised me. Yeah. So, but no, actually went out this week.
Yeah.
I went out with Vlad and camped out at Maloons Creek campground, which is a fabulous little campground. I think you've been there actually, and the one where you go through the little water crossing in Talaganda
Yeah, it was freezing
National
cold.
Park. Yeah, well, it was beautiful on Tuesday night, and but we actually went out there to talk to another bloke who's interested, and he was camping the night, and but anyway, Vlad marched off in the afternoon, and I followed along after him, and he had his little pack, and when he got to the 100 metres away from the camp, he set up a little one-man tent, put on an apple and an orange on a log next to it, and then put a sound recorder underneath just a short way away. And but anyway, I woke up in the morning. He'd already been up and had coffee going and all that sort of thing, and he'd marched back from his little research station to announce that the apple had gone. So, you know, of course it was a yowie, and no, that's not what happened at all. Yeah, the apple disappeared, but anyway, we'll check the sound recordings and see what happened. But I'd say there's one very happy possum.
Well, there was a few possums around there when we went down there last. Oh, it was last year, wasn't it? But it was during winter, so it was just out.
Yeah, it was cold.
It was cold, yeah. Like, like I had to put socks on with me thongs. That's how cold it was, and that's when we thought we had something on the thermal, and it looked like heads and shoulders, and my heart was beating pretty fast, and I was a bit like, what's going on, and then we ended up being a kangaroo. It was in that kind of it was just standing in that way where it just looked like it was, it was a big kangaroo. So,
that shows you the importance of video, though, mate. Because I still in the early bit down there too at Talaganda, because the spotted owl, I think, or some sort of owl, as its habitat, and they've managed to get the government to stop logging.
It's actually
in the state forest, which
it's actually like a sugar glider. Yeah.
Sugar glider, is it?
Yeah, it's some sort of.
Oh, right.
I don't know exact name, but it's kind of like a glider. Yeah, and the biggest population in Australia is the Talaganda, and they were talking about the forestry is saying, no, we're only going to select trees here and there, but they've just been wiping everything out, and they've got video footage of it, so they've stopped it. So they've actually been, doing what they're saying they're not doing. They're actually.
Yeah, I've seen it, mate. I've seen it in the state forest. I think it's horrible. Absolutely horrible what they do. You drive through and it's like paddocks, big expensive paddocks, just clear felled.
You can wonder
nothing,
why.
Nothing there.
Yeah, it's just nothing. You wonder why Australia's got, I think, the most amount of extinct animals since there's been colonisation. So, anyway,
Yeah.
We're going to talk
But
about a few.
anyway, it'll more wild an area. I think it's good for any other inhabitants of the area.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Just
less logging.
leave them places be, and so we can go out
Yeah.
and enjoy them, and our kids and generations to come. So anyway, we're going to talk about a few things tonight. We don't hold back here on anything Yowie. Oh, sorry,
Oh,
everything
give it
Yowie.
to me, Dan. Give it to me.
But we are going to start. We're going to start. Well, I'm going to call this episode, and I should have named it when I did the little promo: the good, the bad, and the ugly. So anyway, we're going to start with the good. All right. So podcast
All
days.
right.
Any podcasts out there that you listen to in Australia or around the world, like you can say it would be good to listen to? Like, have you come across any?
Well, the only one I really listen to is Cade's um, podcast,
The Believe podcast. Yep.
the Believe podcast. That's
Mm.
about the only one I really listen to nowadays, mate. Like I've said before, I used to be obsessive with the Bigfoot groups and the Yowie groups and any videos or YouTube or anything like that. And then at one stage, I just turned around and went, nah, and got rid of the lot.
Mm.
So, yeah, Cade's about the only one I pay any attention to nowadays.
Yeah, Cade's uh, pretty, well, really, he's a real professional at what he does, and I like how he stays neutral to everything. He just lets everyone have their say, and and he has some really good people talking on there, and he does a vast amount of things from UFOs, Bigfoot, Yowies, to ghosts, to you name it, So another one I've actually been on Cade's when he first started. Another one is Sarah Bignell's Yowie Central. She's pretty much the same as
Yeah,
Cade. Pretty much stays, neutral to everything and just lets everyone have their say. It has some really good people talking on there, so very good to listen to. And a lot of these ones, they're all saved, so you can get on there and listen to past episodes and pick what you want. I'm usually just interested in the all the Yowie stuff. And I've been on one from England. His name's Paul Bestall. It's called Mysteries and Monsters, and I've been on it twice. And but he's pretty much the same as Kate and Sarah's, and he gets people from around the world. So there's some really good ones on Mysteries and Monsters. And another one is John Kershaw's Creepers, Cryptid and Paranormal Corner. And if you don't know John, he was on the end of Tracking the Law, and it was about the dog man and the picture he got, and that was part of Tracking the Law when we tried to find out, a bit more information about this picture, and it was pretty mysterious, and something that there was no trees in that area, because we actually found the area by going in with some canoes, and there was nothing to hold a massive beast up. So this thing could have been standing there, or it might have just been a really light on its light-bodied frame, but a big creature. And anyway, that's a good a podcast to listen to. He's on YouTube under Creepers, Cryptid and Paranormal Corner, and he's got some areas down his way, and I've been down there with Attila Caldi, and yeah, there's been some weird things happen down his way, and he's got some good thermal footage of some dark images. And people might say, why didn't that, and I've said it myself, but then why didn't this dark image come up as like, you might have it on a setting called Iron Hot, which is like from what the boys got in the AYR, which is that yellow colour. But when we were filming or starting to film Track Search for Australia's Bigfoot, and there was 4 of us there at a car park in the Blue Mountains, because we'd finished our whole night of doing stuff and nothing happened. So it was like, all right, let's go home. We've had a good night, good chat, and we're having a bit of a talk, and then this black figure turned up around the area. It looked like a little Slender Man thing, and I saw it as only something 3 foot tall, but couple of other boys said they saw it was like 6 to 7 foot tall. So everyone saw the same thing, but at a different height. So we got a thermal out, which was not one that you can record on like the one I've got. You hit record and take photos, and it's got a inbuilt like an inbuilt to be able to save the footage. This one you have to put it onto an iPhone or an iPad and then press records. But we didn't have time. But the boys, they did see it through the thermal, said it didn't come up as a heat signature. It stayed black, and they toggled through a few of the signature, the heat buttons on there in different modes, and it still come up black. So I can see where John's coming from, where he says this thing showed no heat. So we don't know what these things are. But you go out in the bush, like we went out in the bush in tracking the law and track search for Australia's Bigfoot, and a lot of weird things happened that had nothing to do with Yowies, but like ghosts and people asking me like watch out, yelling out watch out at 3 o'clock in the morning when we're hiking out of the valley, and just weird shit like that. So anyway, that's John.
Well, here's one. What that dark shape may well have had cold blood.
Could have. I don't know. I don't know, because this thing was just like appearing there, and then all of a sudden it appear over there, and then it appear there, and we were just like freaked out. So yeah, I was the last one to get out of there, and they all took off in their cars, and I'm just letting my car warm up, and they've gone a couple of 100 meters down the road, and it took me 5 minutes. So I'm just taking my time, and then I drove out, and then until I was about to come back, and go, "Where are you, man?" I'm like, "It's only a black figure. Like, if it's a ghost or something, it's not going to hurt me." So, but yeah, cold. I don't know. I'd have to.
I'm just thinking if a thermal sees a black space,
yeah,
and it's not whatever and the thing that you've got in there is alive. I'm just saying the only way it wouldn't have a signature was if it was cold-blooded.
Yeah. So you can it still picks up the shape of whatever it is, but yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe like if a snake was not in the sun, and it was because they're cold blooded, and it's like just waking up, coming out of a. It's.
Does a snake show up on thermal?
Yeah. If one's
does a snake show up?
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to get a snake near me on the thermal, but if the snake just come out of hibernation and it wasn't really you just happened to get it when it started coming out, would it come up with no heat signature because it's not really hot, because it'd be under the ground? But does it hold heat where it lives? Does it go under rocks where the heat keeps it alive enough while it's hibernating? I don't know. I'm not into snakes or reptiles. So anyway, that's
would it be the heat signature off the rock, and then you just see a squiggle of black?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, if I come across a snake, I'll in that situation, I'm sure I'll get the thermal out and have a bit of a look, because that's a good.
I'm only saying to prove the theory that whatever it was you had on the thermal may have been cold-blooded.
Could have been, or it could just be supernatural and doesn't have no heat signature, because that's what I don't know. That was really weird. And all these things that I've been out there seeing and things that have happened, there's people who've been with me and they all saw it and they can all back up what I'm saying. And it's just really weird. Like that Min light thing that came out, that was the most craziest thing that I've ever seen. Just give me 1 second, boys and girls, because I've got to put the battery in for this laptop. If I don't, it's going to die. I forgot to do it.
Oh, good to see you're organised.
I'm always organised. You see how professional we are on everything, Yowie? Nearly there. Give me a sec, boys and girls. All right. There it is. I thought I had that plugged in. Sorry about that, viewers. You're going to see a guy called...
Within the Yowie World this week.
Yeah, within the... Robert Dominguez. He does Bigfoot Club. And I happen to have the chance to talk to the boys over there in Bigfoot Club. And they learnt about thongs. and because they talking about thongs as being a piece of clothing, and so they learn about thongs. So yeah, Robert Dominguez and Bigfoot Club. If you got a chance to listen to that podcast, I recommend them. I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts myself, but you know, on the odd time when I've got some, some spare time, I'll put one of these ones on, and if I'm doing some gardening in the backyard or something, I'll put it on and listen to them because they're really good to listen to. Now, Dave, we're going to go to some bad stuff.
Oh, here we go. What's been going on in the Yowie world the last 2 weeks I've missed out on?
Shit YouTube channels.
Oh, okay.
All right, there's a guy, and he might be related to this Stats guy that runs Yowie Busters, well, aka Noel, but he's called Yowie Buster. Anyway, he's got something in common with you, Dave. He's got a beard, but
okay.
I think the guy lives on magic mushrooms 24/7, because the guy in his latest video was saying Yowies turn into termite mounds, and then they turn back into Yowies. And he gets out of his car and he's going, busted, busted! And there's all these termite mounds in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm just shaking my head going, man, how many mushrooms did you eat today?
I've been fooled by a termite mound or two in my time.
No, but these are clearly the only thing.
The idea is that you walk up to it and the termite mound doesn't move.
Mate, this is like no bush. It's just termite mounds like all over the place. 100 metres away, 50 metres away, 75, 300 metres. You see them all there. It's an area where there's termite mounds and there's very little bushes or trees. Pretty much nothing, just grass. And he's yelling out, busted, busted. And I don't know. The only thing he's got going for him, if you watch the video, and I recommend watch the video, he's wearing thongs. He's got thongs on. He's got the $2 Kmart thongs. So I can give him 1 out of 10 for that video because of wearing thongs. So, there's probably a lot of snakes around and he's got his thongs on, but he shouldn't be wearing his socks so he doesn't get bitten by a snake. And I have been told by someone, Dave, that he was there, he's got his guitar and he's playing, and he says he's drawing the Yowies in, but they're out of camera range. So anyway, I haven't seen that video, but I will be looking into it. Before I go to the next one, have you got any YouTube channels that you want to talk about?
Sorry, my all-time favourite is still, and I've been through his collection. He's got about 55 videos up there now, and I've been through them a few times. But Russell Ladmore, the Rusty 222 on YouTube.
Very
that's
professional.
But no, when you get I really like his attitude towards Yowie research. And, also anybody who's prepared to put out $50,000 in equipment must have a fair inkling they know what they're on about. So
I've had the opportunity.
The results he got were amazing in my views. And if it takes $50,000 worth of equipment to get it, it's no wonder running around with a camera phone in the bush isn't going to get you very far.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to meet Russell and go down to his area, and I helped him carry the truck batteries up to his car from where he had his gear, and he had 4 truck batteries running all the gear, and they're not cheap. His boss bought the batteries for him and said, "Yeah, I'll shell the money out," and we carried him up the ridge. Tell you what, he left me for dead. He's a fit boy, and I carried him up, and he had the gear there, and it's just, you see it on the video, but you go there and to see it for real, and you walk in and it's got it well camouflaged. It's like this little, it's like a little house, you know, and he opens up the top and it's just like flashing lights like Star Trek. And what the hell? You just see all these plot watchers in a 360 degrees, and then he goes, up the road I got my CCT camera and it's looking a kilometre away. It's been doing that for about 3 weeks now, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, he's way above everyone in how he does all these, you know, sound recordings, and he, like you said, he can pinpoint how far away they are, and yeah, he's really
I
recorded
can
some.
track them.
Yeah,
It's shown in his latest videos. He's got the system down so well that he can track. Like at one stage, I'll give an example. At one stage, he tracks a lyrebird moving, and he puts it on a graphic so you can see where it's going with the north, south, east, west. And you know, you can see, he says the lyrebird and then behind it you see the Yowie or the subject following along after the lyrebird. The lyrebird's running for its life.
yeah,
And you know, you can get that sort of detail out of their movements around. And you know, there's been a couple of times he's come very close to getting what I think's a legitimate photo, but he's always done it on a plot watcher. And just the ability to go through 360,000 photographs.
what's going on? Okay, just saying something was wrong with the OBS. That's all good. Yeah, so yeah, Rusty got that picture of that face in the bush, and when people say, they got a face in the bush, I'm telling you, every time I've seen them, they're all pareidolia. They're trick of shadows and light, and they got shit bloody phone cameras. But this one is different to anyone that you can clearly see. It is a face. It's not the bush and the lights making up the face. There's actually something there, physically there within that bush, and it's unreal. It's like the best picture I've ever seen, or something like that. I haven't seen better.
Oh, well, should plug his website where he's got all of his best evidence presented.
Well, the Rusty 222.
Yeah, no, that's the Rusty 222. That's his YouTube channel, but he's actually got a website, Far South Coast Hominid Research.com, I think, or .org.
.org. It's .org. Yeah, Far
.org.
South Coast Yowie Research, or just
Hominid Research.
Hominid Research. Yeah, so it'll come up if you get most of it right. It'll come up in there, and it's got like a lightning bolt that was taken in Canberra or somewhere, Canberra, and it had like a UFO near the lightning bolt or something. That's the picture. Yeah. So, yeah, the Rusty 222. So, has he brought anything out lately? Because I watched the video a few months ago, but
I check in every so often, but I think it's been about 6 months since his last video. But as he says, he lives a life, and you know, he doesn't put up every time he goes out in the bush. He'll go out in the bush 6 times over 3 months, and then he'll spend a couple of months collating all the information before he even presents a video. So yeah, it's a lot of work he puts into it. A lot of work.
He did tell me he was taking a step back from like the amount of work he was doing, you know, because it was taking a lot of time away from family and stuff. And that's the thing that you got to watch out, that you're not doing too much, and then you know you're spending too much time away from the family. Like, I'll do things, and then I'll do things with my wife, and my kids are adults now, so they got their own kind of life. But you know, I'm lucky enough that my wife likes to come out and do what I do, so it does help a lot. But then if she wants to go to, like, we're going down to a flower show down Bowral on the weekend, so we'll be driving down there. I'd rather be looking for yowies in the bush, but I'll go around and walk around and look at the flowers with her. That's what she wants to do, and I can't do everything myself. I can't be selfish, so that's what you got to remember.
Happy wife, happy life, mate.
Yeah, well, look, she should be happy because she's
got
2 pairs of thongs like I do. So, anyway.
Okay. So who are you going to shock? Who are you going to shock me with next?
Got the second shit YouTube channel, and you know this one because I've shown a few to you. Alf's Bigfoots. Now, Alf has a tendency of filming trees. And then he says Yowies are at the train station. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, there's no solid bushland around that train station. There's a few bushes there, but there's nothing. It's just, you can see, like, warehouse right near the bloody train station. And he's like, oh, there's a Yowies there. And I'm like, come on, mate. Like, is he eating gum leaves or something? I don't know. Anyway, if you what's your view on Alf's Bigfoots?
I'm not a subscriber.
You don't have to be. You can still click on them and watch them.
I haven't. Yeah, I know, but you've sent me a couple. But no, I don't click the notification bell if that's what you mean, mate.
So it doesn't give you a headache; it gives you a thong ache.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
don't know.
no, but I did have a bit of a chuckle. I don't know. Sometimes people aren't serious about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's easy to write the word Yowie, and you could be Russell Coit doing it. You know, so my wife made me chop my beard off. She says I was starting to look like Russell Coit, and I said Russell Coit doesn't have a beard.
Russell Crowe does.
But yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
you look 10 years younger. You should have told her that you're working up to be Santa Claus this year. It's getting close, and I don't think you'd have enough time to regrow it, man. You know?
Ah, mate, you'd be surprised. The older you get, the faster it grows.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, what about the hair on your head?
no, that's a worry.
That's a worry.
That's a worry. But I'm not going in to get a hair transplant anytime soon either.
Wear a beanie. You're all right. Wear a hat. You got a nice hat there. All right. The next one we're talking about. Good old.
Right.
Oh, and I wrote this on there. Good old shithouse Facebook. Now.
Oh, Facebook.
Good old.
Oh
Facebook.
dear.
Good old shithouse Facebook. So I've been noticing. There's plenty of people coming out of the woodwork that are talking about the magic eye again. You've got to have the magic eye to see it. Like what is it, pink eye or something? You got to get to see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they keyboard
No, I
warriors. Anyway, you go, Dave.
It's all got to do with your preconceived ideas. The magic eye and preconceived ideas are synonymous with each other.
You would know.
if you're looking for yowies and you've got the magic eye, you're going to see a yowie. It's a bit the same as if you take magic mushrooms. If you take magic mushrooms, you're going to see a yowie because you'll have preconceived ideas that you're going to see a yowie.
How do I learn?
That's my explanation for it.
How do I learn to get the
That's
magic
my
eye?
explanation.
How do I learn to get the magic eye? Like, you've taught me all the ways of the thong. I want to know the magic eye. Who's the best person to show me how to see these things that aren't there with my magic eye?
I reckon Sensors on Fire might be able to help you out.
Might be.
That's if you subscribe to the notion that Yowies are really the Nephilim.
The Nephilim. Okay. All right. A pass.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But-
I don't want the magic eye then.
No, all you have to do is go through about 300 Bible verses, and I started reading them for her when she put them up on the forum. But no, she's convinced that the Nephilim are fallen angels. Yowies are fallen angels.
All right. Okay. Well, look, everyone's got the right to believe what they believe is true. I'll never say that. It's a free country, but I've got the right to call them out when I think they're shit too. So, anyway, they can believe what they like. But anyway, yeah, the keyboard warriors have been out. The one thing that's getting really bad, and it does come up here and there, or not here and there, pretty much every time we talk about it, is the posting of blurry pictures that are obviously pareidolia, trick of the light, foliage and shadows and everything else, and they got the mobile phone out, click, 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 and they're like, I was only 100 metres away. Mate, I get my mobile phone, I try to take a photo of something 100 metres away. When you try and zoom in, these things just pixelate. The sensor's just, the sensor's crap. It's a little tiny part of the phone that's not even as big as your bloody pinky fingernail, and it struggles. So people need to get a camera. You know, like I get this, and it's 4K, but I can zoom in and take a clear photo. Look, that cost me about, I got it on special, it was like $1,000, but you can get these when people have used them and still, you know, they're in good condition off like Gumtrees or eBay, and maybe pay $500. It's going to be better than using a bloody mobile phone camera, because it's a phone.
Yeah,
People.
but in fairness, yeah, I understand that, Dan. But in fairness,
Yes.
you don't wander around in life with a high tech camera all the time.
Yes, but in saying that,
But
Dave.
you do wander around with a mobile phone.
Yes, but in saying that, some of these people are serial pareidolia picture takers, and they are going out and they are putting in Facebook groups constant photos that are blurry using this. And if they're going to go out more than once, so they're going to go out and do a big road trip, buy a camera. And then when they're asked, when they're asked hard questions, they straight away go crazy. Oh, you're picking on me, blah blah blah, because they can't answer the questions. And when people say to them, "There's a video feature on the phone. Why didn't you use the video feature?" And then, oh, I forgot. Well, you've put up about 20 or 30 photos now. Where's the videos? Because you know what? It's gonna bring them out as being false and lying. They won't post a video because they know there's nothing there. They see a shadow. Oh, I'll take a photo of that. Oh yeah, there's a bit of light coming through. It looks like 2 bits of light coming through the leaves. That looks like eyes. That's a dog man. Like bullshit. You know, we've seen it before, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what it is. But look, you get people that are coming into, they've had some sort of encounter. They've been out in the bush and they've gone, oh, something weird happened to me. And they post a picture of saying, oh, you know, there was something there. Look at this shadow. It looks like I'm facing it. Fair enough. You know, they're new. No one knows everything. I don't know everything. I've never said I know everything. I've never said I'm the best person and everyone else is shit. You know, I've done a lot of things where I look back and go, oh, I could have done that better, or, you know, that was me being really new to this, new to researching. And that's why I made the mistakes. And I know the mistakes I made. And I'm trying to tell people, don't make them same mistakes. And then when you try to tell them, they argue. You know, you be nice and say, hey, this is not what it is because of this reason and that reason. Or can you explain to me why you have cropped that picture? Can you please show us the whole picture, not a cropped section that's like this small? Because I want to know how big this thing is. Because they could take a picture that's 100, or what, just say 20 meters away, and they crop the section, and it ends up being this big. Why? How's that a dog man if it's only a foot by a foot? How's that a Yowie? You know?
It's a combination. It's a combination, I think, like I said before, of wishful thinking or preconceived ideas.
Yeah.
And tie that up with social media, and they're looking for justification. They're looking for validation.
And they're looking for people
if
to...
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and they're looking for people to say, wow, that's a great picture, and they just want to feel good about themselves. That doesn't mean...
But as soon as someone says, I think it's a tree, or I think it's a bush,
yeah,
it's the violent reaction to being... it's bizarre. It's why I'm in a couple of groups, and I never go into...
We lost the... it's gone a bit slow again, unfortunately.
I never... That didn't manage to cull.
Sorry, mate.
Have I frozen?
Yeah, it just froze a sec. So, yeah, couldn't hear what you said for the last 10 or 15 seconds because it's just been. That's the problem with the. Sometimes with live.
No, it's just that the Yowie groups don't turn up in my Facebook feed because I never go there, purposefully. So every so often, Facebook will throw at me a post from one of the groups, and yeah, that's about as far as I interact with them. To be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, I'm in them.
Because I've been over the same regurgitated rubbish for so long. At least I noticed the Australian group stopped posting just Bigfoot stuff, which I think's healthy.
Yeah.
But as for throwing up pixelated pareidolia and then getting upset at people because they point out that it could be pareidolia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating from my aspect too, mate. But it's nothing new. It's like it gets recycled.
Yeah.
There'll be this group of people doing it, and then they'll fade off into the never. A couple will hang on, but there'll be all this new people come in, and yeah, it's just an endless cycle.
Yeah, no way. Yeah,
Regurgitate.
And you can't tell them what they're doing wrong because I know I did things wrong when I first got into it as well, and I'm trying to tell them these are the things that's happening to you, but in their mind, like you said, it's a Yowie and that's what it is. Or if it's not a Yowie, if it's not a Yowie, and you say, look, it's not a Yowie, well, it might be a dog man then. I'm like, well, I'm not really convinced about this dog man thing, because when you look at all the reports and you go into Trove and everything like that, there's no written accounts about people saying dog man or this thing looked like a dog. Nothing. You know?
Yeah, there's no historical reports at all.
Nothing. The Yowies are there,
It's
but
something.
nothing.
It's something that turned up in the last 10 years.
Yeah, probably not even that here. Probably you're looking at the last, probably 2019 onwards. It's like something that's just filtered into the brain of some people, I reckon, from America. They talk about it. They have this dog thing, and I think
that's what I reckon.
And people just want to say,
because otherwise, we'd have a dingo man in our mythology.
Could have dingo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll have dingo man.
Dingo man. That's much.
And you what? Someone will post soon. It'll be Dave Reed's Dingo Man encounter.
Dingo man.
Anyway, before a couple of people have been asking questions or talking. You got Shane. Thanks for asking. Shane was talking about people don't go back to the same area when they take a photo. They'll get there and take the photo. And what I always been told too by people like Rusty and that, what I learn off, they say try and go back to the same place, like same time of day with the same conditions. So if it's completely sunny at 12 o'clock, go back to that area at 12 o'clock and take a photo. And if the shadow's still there, well, obviously it's not a creature. It's not going to hang around for 24 hours in the same spot.
No.
You know, so that's what you do. So there was someone else was Hopstar. The last video Rusty put on YouTube, he said he wasn't going to be doing much in the future. Well, that's unfortunate, but I know Rusty has said that in the past.
That's a shame. That's a real shame.
I know, but I know Rusty has said that in the past, but you get bit by the bug, which Dean Harrison said to me, you get bit by the Yowie bug, and sometimes it's just, even if you get out of it, you're always still going to look in groups, or you're just going to have your big toe in there just to look at things and see what's going on. But that's a shame. I really love watching his videos. He used to put out about once a month a video, or once every 6 weeks, and he really went back and looked at it really scientifically, and he just didn't muck around. So that's I still go back to watch his videos till this day. So
there's some classics amongst it. There really is.
Oh yeah.
So I think if you're interested in the Yowie, that he's a must. He's a must. Have a look at his videos. So, and his website, he's got it all of his evidence compiled onto the one website with videos, sound recordings, um, plot watcher captures, hair samples, because he got right into hair analysis and he could, under microscopes and sectioning and all sorts of things, really scientific level, and a hair identification program that cost him a couple of grand.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I can't recommend his website and YouTube channel highly enough. The Rusty 222.
Yeah, and the places he was going into, there was pretty much, I could say, no one going down there. There was no trail. So I know when I went down there, we had to bush bash it. I don't know how much of the area's burnt since the bushfires from 2019, 2020. I know a lot would be growing back by now, but it wouldn't be as thick as it was. So maybe that's one reason why he's not doing a lot like he was before. But like he has kind of taken a step back for a long time. But anyway, any other things you would like to discuss before we call it a night?
Oh, no, mate, I think you've spun my head enough. I mean, I'll be looking out at the train station. I'll be going through to Kingston tonight. And I'll set up a couple of trail cameras and a few sound recorders. And I'll wait till the Sydney train gets in at midnight, and hopefully I'll have an encounter.
You never know. You might. Could just be a really hairy guy that just took his shirt off. But you might just get a few drunks or something on there. But you could get some good footage that you can put on your TikTok channel. I heard you've been coming good at TikTok. You wanna what about talk about your channel on YouTube? Let's so people can watch what you're doing when you do your 8 minutes videos.
David Rowan Reed, ROHAN, on TikTok.
On TikTok. So how many followers you got there, Dave?
3,000, I think.
3,000, jeez. Do they all wear thongs or bush stuff shirts?
No, but I'm going to start selling thongs on TikTok.
I reckon you still got your bush stuff shirt? Is that still alive?
No, mate.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, man, that's died. What happened to it?
I think it actually got lost at a bush stuff. But I wasn't wearing it. My son was wearing it.
Oh. Well,
My son was wearing it.
It was going somewhere where it was getting used, and unfortunately, it's probably down in some creek somewhere in Talaganda or something.
You wouldn't know, mate. He drives a $50,000 monster truck with a rooftop tent. When he goes to a bush stuff, he looks after himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
All right, mate.
Bit past my time, bush stuffs, I'm afraid.
Yeah. When we go out, it's it's probably the latest I stay up. Like during the week going to work. Like some days it's 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm in bed because we just had a really shit day at work. But usually I'm 9 o'clock. I'm in bed 9:30. But when I go out doing Yowie research, like they're not all nighters, but unless something's really crazy happening. But most times we're up to about 2:30, probably pushing 3 o'clock, and then it's like go to sleep. And then you got to get up in the morning, which is probably 8 or 9 o'clock, pack up, have a coffee and hike out. So when I get home on a Sundays after having a Saturday nights researching, we're usually pretty buggered. It's like come home and clean your gear and then just have a sleep and go back to work the next day, unfortunately. So, but
well, my days of bush bashing like you do, mate, are long gone. So, deciding to head off with your natural compass a couple of kilometres into the bush is, with no trails, is a bit much for me nowadays.
Well, last time we did a hike together. Was it coming out of Springwood?
Yeah, sassafras.
Oh, there's our latest member. Does he? Have you got thongs for your dog?
What?
You got thongs
Oh,
for the dog. I think that dog could take better videos from some of these people on YouTube. I'm telling you now. You just stick a camera to his back and put him in the bush. But
yeah, well, you're not allowed to take dogs into national parks.
we'll just say he's a bloody seeing eye dog and just take a pole and walk around with your head in the air like this. You'll be right, mate. All good. Yeah, but
Yeah, just
we went to Springwood and remember we hiked up the Batman Trail, wasn't it? Batman.
yeah, that was Batman Trail. Yeah,
Batman
Perch
Trail.
Pond.
Perch Pond. Yeah, we weren't at Perch Pond because it's. Well, yeah, I think it was Perch Ponds actually. Yeah. So I know.
Yeah, but that was my last big hike out. Never again, mate. That's it. That's when I worked out my body's not up to it anymore.
That was a good
So
trail. It wasn't too bad, but it was a good like had like you could go along the creek, and we had to go over the creek. It was nice in some sections, but other sections it was like tough going. It wasn't easy. Like even I was sitting down, going, Dave, you want to stop? Because I wanted to stop too. So we'd have a rest. But no, that was interesting, and
yeah,
we got the big scar tree, and we didn't even that
yeah,
was,
Aboriginal scar tree there. That's a bonus.
yeah,
That's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
yeah,
I
me
don't know
too.
how old it is. Could be 200, 300 years old.
You know what, Dave?
I don't know. When did they get up to when did white man get up to that area?
Boy, you're looking at.
What year?
Well, they crossed the Blue Mountains. They crossed them. Was it 1830 something?
1812.
Was
No,
it
1812. Well, 1830. No, because they got to
30s?
Canberra in 18. They got to Canberra in 1822.
Oh, I should know this
So,
because I've done something about it. But when they crossed it, because it took them about 26 times to cross it. I'm sure it was in the 1830s. Um,
uh, yeah. So it could have been. It could have been. Less. It could have been less than 200 years old. But anyway, it's very old.
sorry, Dave, you were right. 1813. Sorry,
Yeah,
1813. So yeah,
1813.
yeah, it took them like about 26 times to get over there. I should have known that. I did a bit of history on it, but I've done history on so many things, it's hard to keep track of it all. But
But it'd be interesting to hear the stories of the old road builders and things like that would have camped up there while they built those roads,
well, that road,
the original roads.
yeah, the road that they got, that they went along, that William Cox, he was the engineer in it, and then he took a team of like 30. What do you about this? It wasn't long after they come back. It was about 6 months to a year later or something, and it took them 6 months to build the road from all the way over, and
Oh,
they used three-quarters of the way that the original that the explorers went, and when they got so far, they said they can't use this way, that way. So and they took them about 6 months to build a road. It probably only been a couple of meters wide, and probably just cleared it out for people to travel along. But then later on, they got rid of all the big boulders and rocks later on. But
yeah.
I've got
No, my thought was just the original cutters that were cutting down trees and
oh
things
yeah,
to
yeah.
to clear the road. What they could have seen out there, you know, first into the area type of thing. But I do believe there was an Aboriginal trail over the Blue Mountains. Maybe they just followed that. Maybe they claimed the kudos for going over the Blue Mountains. In actual fact, all they did was follow an established Aboriginal trail.
Well, there was one.
I've often thought that.
There was one trail. I'm trying to stop a sneeze here. Sorry about that. There was one trail that. Sorry, couldn't stop that one. That's what happens on live TV. There was one Aboriginal trail that went along Bells Liner Road, and there was one that actually went through the Blue Mountains around near where they went, but they didn't actually go on that trail. But they did have two Aboriginal guys with them to try and help them through. And they had so many horses and so many sheep and stuff, so they were killing the sheep on the way and to eat them. A couple of dogs, and so many. Had a couple of convicts with them to carry all their gear. So yeah, so it took them, I think, 21 days to get to the other side, and then it took 5 days to get back. So
Right.
yeah, so 26 days in total, and they end up going down the other side of the Blue Mountains, and they probably went a couple of k's, maybe 10 k's, and there's like a small kind of mound, not mound, but it's pretty big, but it's called Mount Lithgow, and that's where they were looked, and they saw everything flat and said, that's enough, we're going back. And when they got back there, the governor and that said, you guys can have this much land over there when we make the road. So they made a lot of money by doing that, which was pretty rare. Look how many people have been an explorer like Burke and Wills and that. They've died, and the other guys have made nothing out of it. They got a little bit of fame, but these guys actually got land, and a lot of land at that. So anyway, I think we'll end.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we've talked about a lot
All
of
right,
things,
mate.
and it's
No
been
worries.
good chatting, and hopefully people enjoy the Everything Yowie, and go to Dave's channel.
Oh, well.
You know, we've got to catch up again anyway, Dave. Probably won't be. I believe it probably maybe when around autumn, so it doesn't get too cold down there, and we'll go out again.
Yeah.
And we'll go out. Just drive and park and get the thermal out and sit around the fire and fire in thongs and.
Sounds good.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, you gotta have. Yeah, but you'll have to bring a pair of socks.
Oh yeah.
You know, the trouble with walking in the snow in thongs.
Yeah.
Right.
You'd know.
Is your feet do get a little bit cold.
A little bit cold.
So
okay.
a pair of socks fixes it. Pair of socks fixes it.
It's only one pair of socks. You don't
there you go.
You don't have to double up.
There you go, mate. Another tip from the master.
Well, mate, you've taught me something else that I can take into reality and use when I'm going out next. Because sometimes the Blue Mountains here gets pretty cold as well. Not as cold as Canberra, but yeah, another tip from the master.
Fair enough.
Anyway, we'll leave with that
right,
tip.
we're dribbling now.
There's only one tip per episode, so that's the one tip. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.